Welcome into Trojan Fieldhouse, everybody. Steven Swanner now joined by head coach of Trevecca women's basketball, Doug Novak. Coach, I want to start before we get into some basketball. The head men's basketball coach, Coach Nate Moran, was talking a little bit about you and how y'all have been traveling together on the road. And he said you've become really a great mentor to him. I don't know if he wanted me to tell you that. He didn't want to get to your head. But tell us a little bit. I want to get your side on that relationship and what that's been like to work with Coach Moran.
Well, he's a heck of a coach, and I know this is his first head coaching job, but he's been around such good people. Kevin Carroll, Lenny Acuff, there's so many. So I just enjoy discussing basketball with him. Nobody has all the answers. Some of us have coached a little bit longer than others. So, to it's a two-way street. We talk things through. We talk about our teams together, and he's got a great approach to the game. He's ultra competitive, but he also has a great perspective. And sometimes those two don't go hand in hand. And so, I really respect what he's doing with his program, how he treats his guys, how he runs practices, and how he works with his assistants, and they're growing leaps and bounds as a team, but then also as a staff, and he is as a coach too. And he really uh, he takes the wins and losses in stride, and I think they gain from each one of those experiences. So it's been a lot of fun working side by side with him.
That's great to hear. Your team took a road trip last week and saw two quite polar opposite performances: a tight overtime loss against Delta State, and then you had a big blowout victory against Mississippi College. Going back through both of those games, what are some things you learned about your team in those contests?
Well, yeah, it's always tough to get any wins on the road. Those are two very good teams, and we didn't play that bad against Delta State. They were a little bit more athletic. There's a couple things that we could have done to help keep them off the boards, but our first shot defense was really good. We started the game off and turned the ball over too much, but this is our third game in a row shooting over 50%, sharing the ball. Excuse me. We take care of some of those turnovers, limit their second chance opportunities because I thought our first side defense was good. But we just didn't keep them off the glass. And some of it has to do with their athleticism, and we just got to play a little bit lower and anticipate a little bit where they're coming from.
What do you think has really contributed to that 50% plus field goal percentage?
Sharing the ball,
Yeah.
moving that ball side to side, maybe turning down a good shot for a great shot. There's a lot of things that contribute to that. There's a space on the floor. If I pass it a second too late, the defense has already recovered.
Right.
If I give it to you too early, I haven't drawn anybody. So, and again, just playing has really helped them in their decision making.
You come back home this week, a couple of games against Christian Brothers and Union. Where do you want to see from your team in the way of improvement after that road trip?
Well, just keep on growing. I think we've laid down a nice foundation, and we've spent a lot of time, on our footwork, on how to catch the ball, how to pass the ball, how to start, how to stop, and because of that foundation, that allows us to run, that allows us to be aggressive. If we didn't take the time to work on that foundation, we're kind of working on some bad dirt or quicksand, and you can't layer on that.
Sure.
You can only play whack-a-mole. But I do think we can start to add that next layer of physicality, the layer of attacking from some different positions that haven't attacked. We did that over the weekend, and some of our wings were getting into the paint, which they hadn't earlier. They had. I don't know if they put themselves in a box, but they've been told their whole lives they're shooters or they're this, and we just say you're a little bit more than that, and let's see if you can develop into it, and they have been. So it's no major changes in anything that we're doing. We're just trying to do what we do a little bit better and do it longer.
Yeah. Well, it starts with Christian Brothers coming up next. Where do you expect to have success against their squad in particular?
They're a gritty team. We got to see them in Florida. They played in the same tournament that we did, and I thought they were tough and competitive, and just kind of made the game. I don't want to say ugly because all basketball, like I like all kinds of basketball. I mean, I like fast breaking teams. I like teams that control the clock. I like zones. I like man to man. It's just a great game, and I like the diversity and variety to it. But they play in such a way physically with quickness of hands and fast rotations and to see if they can get you to take your eyes off the rim. And so we need to be very poised in making sure that we're looking at the right things.
Absolutely. Looking ahead to the back half of the season, it's Gulf South play just about the rest of the way. What do you think has to be consistent for this team to continue to win games here in late January and into February?
Just enjoy the process and not get too high and not get too low. Losing an overtime game on the road to Delta State and then turning around a day later and playing some really good basketball against Mississippi College. It hurts to lose any time at anything that we're doing. But at the same time, there's some really good things in there that we did that we don't want to lose or lose sight of just because of the loss. And I thought we did a really good job of staying in that game, getting it to overtime, fighting and competing. And we could have focused on all the bad things that we did too, or some of the things we could do. And we touched on it, but I was so proud about how they competed and stayed in the fight when it would have been, it's not our night. They could have done that, but they didn't. So those are the things, like mentally, to stay in that fight when things are hard, to stay in the fight when things are really good, because you can lose your concentration at that time too, and just know that we have a certain standard, and they know what that standard is. It's like we're playing to a standard, and that whoever we get to play, that just kind of tells us how good we can be on that particular day.
Well, Coach, thank you for the time. We wish you luck today. Christian Brothers versus Trevecca coming up next on Flow College.
Thank you.